or nepotism. Let's hold everyone accountable for a better society and country. If you see something, say something to the right authorities.
This message is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
Welcome back from that short break. Please note that you can listen to us via our website, www.diamondfm.net, or watch us live on Facebook at Diamond 87 FM and YouTube, Diamond FM Ilorin. Now the news in detail. The federal government has responded to a report by U.S. congressional committees alleging persecution of Christians, insisting that Nigeria remains committed to protecting all religious groups and has no policy of religious discrimination. In a statement on Wednesday, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, acknowledged the country's security challenges, but stressed that ongoing violence is driven by terrorism, organized crime, and communal conflicts, no religious bias or government policy. He added that the government has intensified military and law enforcement operations, improved intelligence sharing, and deployed specialized forest guards, alongside increased investment in equipment and technology to strengthen security and protect vulnerable communities nationwide. Human rights activist Omoyele Sowore has said the resignation of former Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun confirms that his tenure was never legal, alleging that he used force against police officers demanding better welfare. Speaking on national television monitored by Diamond FM, Sowore claimed Egbetokun detained and attacked officers involved in protest, promoted unqualified personnel, and failed to curb criminal activities during his time in office. He described the ex-IGP as having fumbled throughout his tenure and stressed that his resignation underscores the importance of respecting legal limits on tenure and upholding principles in the police force.
It did nothing to curb criminal activities. It did nothing to actually bring about professionalism, contrary to what you're saying. He was a IGP who promoted people who didn't deserve promotion and didn't promote those who deserve promotion, senior police officers who had tinkered with their age. All this happened because we did protest. But when you look at insecurity in the country, even to the point of what happened in Yewata, where he fumbled right in front of his principal, who asked him what's going on here, and he had no answers. He just fumbled through his tenure, and that is why it's important that we recognize that it's important to take a stance when issues or principle are involved. The principle here is that when someone is retired and the law didn't give you the permission to extend their tenure for 4 years, don't try to do it. If you do it, of course, there are people who will stand against that, against all odds. And that's what I did, and that's what our group did, our movement did throughout his tenure. This removal, resignation as they like to dress it, is an acknowledgement of the fact that his tenure was never legit.
Still in the news, the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebolo, has condemned the attack on the African Democratic Congress ADC members, describing it as an escalation of internal party conflict and expressing sympathy for the victims. In a statement, he warned against the use of violence in politics, stressing that Edo State should not be turned into a battleground for political rivalries and urging all parties to resolve internal disputes before organizing public events. Okpebolo also advised residents to remain calm, reaffirming that the state's peaceful reputation must be preserved, while noting that the incident appears rooted in internal disagreements within the ADC rather than external interference. The arraignment of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai was stalled on Wednesday after the Department of State Services, DSS, failed to produce him before the Federal High Court in Abuja over allegations of unlawful interception of phone communications of the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. The court was informed that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, still had the defendant in its custody, despite an earlier order permitting the DSS to arraign him on a 3-count charge bordering on threats to national security. Following the development, trial judge Justice Joyce Abdulmalik adjourned the case to April 23 as prosecutors alleged that El-Rufai admitted during a television interview to being linked to individuals involved in the illegal interception, an offense under relevant cybercrime and communications law. The Department of State Services, DSS, has arrested Sani Yusuf, the alleged 6th member of the terror cell behind the June 2022 attack on St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, Ondo State. Security sources said the suspect, described as a high-profile commander of the Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, was tracked and apprehended in Edo State after years of intelligence-led surveillance and manhunt. He was said to have moved across several states to evade arrest before settling in a rural community. Yusuf has reportedly confessed to his role in planning and executing the church attack and other terrorist operations, including the Suleja military barracks assault and kidnappings in parts of Kaduna, while 5 other suspects are already being prosecuted over the incident. And lastly, on the local scene, the Ilorin Emirates Descendants Progressive Union, IDPU, has congratulated Mr. Olatunji Rewan Disu on his appointment as the new Inspector General of Police, IGP, describing his emergence as timely and significant amid the nation's growing security challenges. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the national president of the union, Alhaji Abdulmumini Ayo Abdulmalik, said the appointment comes at a critical period and aligns with Disu's professional pedigree and wealth of experience. Abdulmalik described the new police chief as a distinguished and thoroughbred officer with an impressive record of service, noting that his over 3 decades of experience across different parts of the country have adequately prepared him to lead the Nigeria Police Force effectively. The IEDPU president, a retired Assistant Controller General of Nigeria Immigration Service, also portrayed Disu as a friendly yet firm officer, adding that he has maintained a cordial relationship with the people of the Ilorin Emirate wherever he previously served. And that's it on the local scene. The news on the hour is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. Moving on to stories on the foreign scene. U.S. President Donald Trump has accused Iran of spreading terrorism, death, and hate, warning that the United States will not allow Iran to acquire nuclear weapons during his State of Union address to Congress. Trump cited Iran's alleged support for militant groups, missile development, and renewed nuclear activities as major threats, even as the U.S. builds up military presence in the Middle East amid rising tensions and the possibility of a prolonged conflict if no agreement is reached. While stating that he prefers peace, Trump said Iran has yet to commit to abandoning nuclear weapons, a claim rejected by Tehran. And in sports news, Nigeria's Super Falcons have arrived in Yaoundé ahead of their double-header international friendlies against the indomitable Lionesses. Head coach Justine Madugu, his assistants, backroom staff, and 2 home-based players, Adeline Ngbechi and Fatima Oloko, traveled from Abuja, while foreign-based professionals are expected to join the team in camp. The first friendly will be played on Saturday, with the second encounter scheduled for Tuesday next week, both taking place in Cameroon's capital. And that's it in the world of sport. With that, we've come to the end of the news on the hour for today. But before we go, here's a recap of the major highlights. Federal government to U.S. lawmakers. Nigeria protects all faiths, no religious bias. Court adjourns El-Rufai's trial over DSS absence. Okpebholo condemns attack on ADC members, blames internal rift. In foreign news, Trump accuses Iran of spreading terror, warns over nuclear threats. In sport, Super Falcons arrive Yaoundé for Cameroon friendlies. Before we wrap up the news, we take a look at our Today in History segment. Did you know that on this day in 1964, Cassius Clay, later known as Muhammad Ali, knocked out Sonny Liston to become the world heavyweight boxing champion for the first time. Now you know. For news coverage or information about happenings around you, kindly contact the Diamond FM newsroom number on 091-606-27526 or 91606-27526. Join us at 3 p.m. for the news flash and at 5 p.m. for the news across the world for a comprehensive bulletin. The news on the hour was edited by Adeyemi Adewale. I am BISOLA ODUWOLE SULEIMAN. Thank you for listening to your shining supreme station. Stay tuned for the news in Yoruba coming up shortly. Good afternoon.